serving the people of East Tennessee. WATE 6 on your side news at 5 starts now.
Deja vu all over again.
Years ago, the wildfires tore through Sevier County. Another widespread fire now hitting the region. Right now at 5, how emergency response was different this time around.
And thousands evacuated from their homes and rental cabins. Efforts to keep everyone fed and sheltered while they wait for the all clear.
Plus, we look at how you can help families displaced and the hundreds of firefighters still in the mountains fighting flames right now at 5. Good evening. I'm Lori Tucker.
And I'm Bo Williams. Thank you for joining us. We do have breaking news. We're now learning the fire right now is 30% contained in the Wares Valley area. Again, the fire right now 30% contained.
But there is a new mandatory evacuation that has been ordered due to wildfires burning in Sevier County right now. Just in the last half hour, the county ordered the Smoky Ridgeway area to evacuate. That's off of Wares Valley Road, if you're familiar with that area. Now, we're told the Pigeon Forge Community Center is still operating as a shelter for those who need some room right now while they wait to see what's happening with their homes.
Exactly. You know, meanwhile, this morning we learned more about the degree of devastation caused by the ongoing wildfires. We're told the fire spread to 3,700 acres throughout the Wares Valley area. More than 100 buildings have been damaged, but luckily no lives have been lost.
We're so thankful for that. And at last check, 2 firefighters were hurt as well as 1 resident. 5 fire trucks were also damaged in the flames, but county leaders say things could have been much worse. They're crediting an emergency plan put in place after the 2016 wildfires and community action once those evacuations were ordered.
It made us aware of what could happen. And so I think it made the public aware of what could happen, and I think everybody took this very seriously from the time that the call was received yesterday morning all the way through. All of the firefighters, the team that was in place, the public, I think everybody took it very seriously because of what happened.
Now, as of this morning, 70 agencies have been called to help fight the flames and approximately 200 firefighters working to keep the fire contained.
We also learned that 6 Black Hawk helicopters with Tennessee National Guard are on board. Guardsmen are on board responding to the wildfires. They'll be dumping hundreds of gallons of water to help get those flames out. Our team coverage tonight starts with WATE 6 on your side reporter Kristen Gallant.
As a matter of fact, she spent the day with fire crews and joins us now live from Wares Valley. Kristen.
Yeah, that's right, guys. As you mentioned, firefighters have come from around the state right here to Sevier County to help fight this fire. I spoke to one who was from Middle Tennessee, and he was working to cut down trees. Now, this is just one of several staging areas here that they can come to and take a break. Valley View Baptist Church has always opened its doors when this community is met with tragedy. Back in 2016 with the Gatlinburg fires, this was one of several staging areas, and here we are yet again today.
I'm proud of them. We've got a lot of people that's been here their whole life, you know, and shared with the community, do what we can. And a lot of people's moved in, and we've been blessed with a lot of people that's moved in, so they're good folks too.
Now, Willie Bryan, who you just heard from there, said his home is safe from the fire at the moment. He says his priority right now is helping his community. Besides this location, there is another command center at the Pigeon Forge Elementary School. This fire is massive, so a lot of these crews will probably be here relying on these command centers for days. Reporting in Sevier County, Kristen Gallant, WATE 6 on your side. Guys.
All right, Kristen, thank you. A moment ago, you heard from Sevier County Mayor Larry Waters. He estimates right now 11,000 homes are inside the current evacuation zone.
As a matter of fact, you'll see the zone here in red. Several shelters have been set up for those evacuating. One shelter, we understand, located at the Pigeon Forge Community Center. This is on Community Center Drive. Then the Sevierville Convention Center on Gist Creek Road, also open to families in need. And then Seymour Heights Christian Church on Boyd's Creek Highway opened its doors to anyone displaced by the fire.
WATE 6 on your side reporter Veronica Obey has spent the day at one of those evacuation shelters.
Yeah, she's been hearing from Sevier County residents and visitors alike that evacuated from the fire zone yesterday. So Veronica, what have you been hearing today?
Yeah, that's right, Lori and Bo. Everyone that I have spoken with today are mostly just waiting to hear the latest on when it'll be safe to return home. But as you can see behind me, there's more smoke. And they're also hearing, as you mentioned in the studio, about the mandatory evacuation. So more people will be in evacuation areas today and throughout the night. But as for visitors, when it comes to those who are here on vacation, they have a different mindset. A woman visiting from Michigan says they were aware of what was happening until they began seeing numerous fire trucks. Corinza Smith says it was spring break for her 10-year-old daughter. It was not the ending they were expecting to a vacation here in Tennessee, but as Smith explains the moments before evacuating their cabin rental, she says she's just glad they were able to make it out safely.
I was very nervous when we saw all the fire trucks going up past our cabin. I mean, there were at least, 15, 20 of them, and then lots of cars coming down. And then when I called our cabin rental and they said, oh, you need to evacuate now, a little panic. Plus, we didn't have any power. So imagine, no power, panicking, thoughts of wildfires going around. So it was a little nerve-wracking. But once we got here, I felt a little more calm.
And I also heard from a group of college students who are actually visiting from Delaware, and they decided to put their spring break aside and help others at the Pigeon Forge Community Center. I'll share more about how they helped tonight at 6. Reporting in Sevier County, Veronica Obey, WATE 6 on your side.
Already hearing stories about people jumping in, helping any way they can. One of the agencies helping families that are seeking refuge in emergency shelters is Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee.
The nonprofit sent us these pictures this morning as their crews delivered food to evacuation locations and to emergency crews. Second Harvest sent emergency food boxes with things like trail mix, granola bars, applesauce, beef sticks, and of course, bottled water. Anything really to help those who had to leave their homes and belongings behind, and to thank those working around the clock to keep the community safe.
We know that the first responders are dealing with hunger and thirst while they're trying to put the fires out. And of course, as everybody knows, it's chaos and fear. And
so here's what's important to know. Second Harvest operates off of grants and donations. So if you're able to give back to this wonderful group, you can head to secondharvestetn.org.
Now, other ways you can help out. Sevier County officials relaunched the Mountain Tough website, originally put up right after the 26 wildfires. Head to mountaintough.org and you'll find information about a donation center that's been set up at the Sevier County Fairgrounds. Officials are asking for donations of water, sports drinks, personal hygiene items, and non-perishable foods, to name a few things there on the list. And again, that information is on mountaintough.org. You can also find a breakdown of the latest county update over on our website at WATE.com.
Another wildfire, this one in the Anderson County community, is now, we are grateful to tell you, it's fully contained. We show you this video of the flames last night. We're told the fire started off of Mount Olive Road in Andersonville, then spread into the Marlow area. That Marlow fire burned around 100 acres, and the Andersonville fire scorched 130 acres, according to fire investigators. But again, those fires in that area are now fully contained. Time now to talk about the weather and the situation with the winds right now. Meteorologist Ken Weathers joins us from the Storm Center. We're so happy to see things have calmed down a bit.
Absolutely, Lori. Winds are still going to be up a little bit through this evening, but I think once we're past sunset, they should relax a lot more than what we've been seeing out there. Live look Gatlinburg, Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. You can still see the trees moving a bit here in the backgrounds, and that's because winds are still sustained in that 30 to 35 mile per hour range for the foothills into the Smokies. We're about 11 in Oak Ridge, 32 Loudon, 23 in Jamestown right now. There's a cold front pushing across the area and temperatures are dropping. We're down to 66 in Knoxville, still very mild, 72 in Gatlinburg. But look at the plateau, 48 Crossville, 46 in Jamestown. So this cooler air is going to continue to push in as we go through the evening. And this little blob of moisture coming across the Mississippi River, that's our rainmaker for later tonight. There's not much moisture with it, but I think we'll take whatever we can get at this point, especially in the Sevier County area. We're talking about a 30% coverage of rain from about midnight to 5 a.m. I'll tell you if this cooler air is going to stick around through the weekend, coming up in just a few minutes, Lori.
All right, thank you, Ken. And remember, everyone, you can stay up to date on weather conditions where you are with our free weather app. To download it, scan your screen right now or search Knoxville Weather in the App Store or Google Play.
New here at 5, a Georgia
It's very anxious. You don't know what to expect. I think the most frustrating thing about it all is getting people off these roads.
We're one of many people who live in areas that are threatened, who don't have any idea what the circumstances are right now.
They're looking to tomorrow to get a better handle on this situation.
We really need everybody to get to a safe place.
We'll just have to wait, let these brave young men who are fighting this fire do their job.
Well, the Hatcher Mountain wildfire has consumed nearly 4,000 acres of land and destroyed about 100 homes, cabins, and buildings in Sevier County. Good evening, and thanks for joining us for WVLT News at 5. I'm Amanda Hara. Just coming into our newsroom as we begin team coverage tonight, we are now learning that this fire is now 30% contained. Overnight winds whipping embers all over the Wares Valley area. You're looking at video there on your screen. More than 10,000 people have been evacuated to nearby shelters. In the last 15 minutes, officials issuing a new evacuation order for the Smoky Ridge Way area off of Wares Valley Road. This is what the evacuation area looks like right now. We've got this map for you in the WVLT News app, along with a list of shelters that are open. You can plug your address into that map. It'll tell you if you are in the evacuation zone. Let's get back to our team coverage tonight. We're going to start with Sevier County Bureau Chief Meteorologist Kyle Granger, who has basically been following along with that firefighting effort. Kyle, tell us what officials are working on now. What is their main goal as we work into the early evening hours here? Sorry, we're going to go to Ashley first. Ashley, you have been talking with folks who have been basically waiting on pins and needles, trying to hear word about their property and their home. This has got to be such a anxiety-filled time for them. What are you hearing from people today?
You're exactly right, Amanda. It has been emotional, it has been challenging, and it has been absolutely heartbreaking for a lot of these people. You know, yesterday I shared Fred Nidifer's story about how he and his wife, they went for a hike in the Smokies and they tried to return to their home, only that they couldn't due to evacuations. Well, by chance, Community Center, one of the evacuation shelters. He and his wife spent the night in a hotel in Pigeon Forge. They are safe. That's the important thing. And they think that if the winds blew the right way, their home may still be standing, just only some roof damage.
The message to the homeowners is we're working as hard as we can to get them back in to see the condition of their property. We know they're anxious, and so we have these teams out here. We're trying to, as the chief said, we're trying to get everything under control so that these people can get back in and see what, if any, damage is
unsettled, as I'm sure anybody would be in a situation like this. But we're hoping that as they continue to gain control of this fire, we'll be allowed to try to make our way back to our home as soon as possible and find out one way or the other. Even if the news is bad, at least we'll know with certainty one way or the other.
Well, the Nidifer's plan is to stay in the hotel another night. He's remaining hopeful. He's especially grateful for all of the firefighters and first responders out here trying to contain this fire. Like you said, Amanda, now 30% contained. So definitely working hard to make sure everybody is staying safe. When he does return, he is still hopeful that there will be a house for him to go back to. Live in Sevier County, Ashley Boley, WVLT News.
And so many people with that same exact hope. Ashley Boley reporting for us live tonight in Sevier County. Ashley, thank you. Let's talk more about that 30% containment. That is good news. And Ben, we have to hope and think that the weather conditions that improved a little bit today may have been a part of that, right? I mean, we knew that the wind was dying down from yesterday, and crews were really banking on that to make some progress.
A little more humidity, a little less wind, which is better news. Not a ton of rain. We talked about that last night. It wouldn't be a ton, only about 2/10 in Wares Valley. Elsewhere, some of you telling us it was among the strongest wind you've ever heard or felt here. We got that wind damage in the Pioneer area, and we're also going up to Jellicoe, Amanda, to talk about some wind damage. So here's where the gusts are right now. Still at 40 in Knoxville, 29 Chestnut Hill, 31 Sevierville. Amanda, we still have those gusts later on this evening for firefighters, but a different wind direction. Instead of pushing this towards the west side of Pigeon Forge, it's now pushing it a little farther to the east of that Hatchertown or Hatcher Mountain community. Hatchertown, one of the little communities down towards the bottom of the hill. We had lots and lots of high wind reports. Thankfully, not a lot of wind damage, but some wild video that we'll show you. I mean, it was just a firestorm up in that Walden's Creek area. Winds swirling around, destroyed numerous fire trucks. Much cooler right now, about 30 degrees colder than this time yesterday on parts of the higher plateau. A few sprinkles overnight. I want to be clear here, this is not going to put the fire out. We knew the rain last night would not put it out either, but hopefully a tiny boost to the firefighters in Sevier County. It's not going to be a lot of rain. 41 spotty showers early in the morning, then frosty. Now temperatures coming down, higher humidity levels. Hopefully this could give folks in Sevier County a boost. But if you have tulips, dogwoods, redwoods, you may want to protect them a little bit heading into this weekend. It is going to be a little on the chilly side. Amanda?
All right, Ben, thanks. Some of the good news that we're hearing, of course, in the last few minutes here, that the fire in Wears Valley now about 30% contained. All day long, we've been hearing from officials in Sevier County that they were hopeful that we are on the right track today, and they were less concerned today than they were yesterday. Sevier County Mayor Larry Waters talking about that this morning and sharing new details about the effort to contain the fire. The Hatcher Mountain fire, 30% contained, about 4,000 acres involved. Mayor Waters says they're now at the point where they're able to go into some of these areas the fire has moved out of, assess the damage so that they can report that back to homeowners, and that they are working quickly and diligently, hoping to allow people back into their homes to check on their property as soon as possible. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back on WVLT News at 5. Stay with us.
Right now at 5, new evacuations issued in the wildfire in Wears Valley that's burned more than 3,000 acres. We have team coverage from Sevier County with the latest on the efforts to fight the flames.
This is what firefighters are keeping an eye on now. Flames and fallen trees fueled by leaves and wind as the fire jumps ridge to ridge.
And I do hope you're having a good, safe Thursday. It's been another breezy day. We have drying back out. We actually could see some spotty light rain showers tonight with much cooler temperatures. So you want to grab the jackets. We'll take a look at that weekend forecast coming up.
Plus, the wildfire had couples planning to say I do scrambling. How the community stepped up to make sure brides could still celebrate their special day despite the chaos.
10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Rusty Wallace Automotive Group. WBIR 10 News starts now.
Right now at 5, a wildfire is blazing across Wears Valley in Sevier County. Strong winds, dry conditions, they are fueling the flames. That wildfire has scorched 3,700 acres so far. It impacted at least 100 buildings. Earlier today, the Tennessee National Guard deployed several Black Hawk helicopters to help contain the fire. They are equipped with buckets filled with hundreds of gallons of water to dump on the flames. Right now, the fire, about 30% contained. We just got that update. At a press conference earlier today, Sevier County Mayor Larry Waters said 11,000 homes have been evacuated since yesterday. Now, just minutes ago, authorities issued a mandatory evacuation for the Smoky Ridge Way area that's off Wears Valley Road. This map shows the pink area. It is under evacuation orders right now. The blue area, that shows the shelters. They have in the last hour closed a part of Wears Valley Road after it reopened earlier today. Now, due to these ongoing evacuations, Sevier County schools will be closed tomorrow. Students are expected to return after spring break on April 11th. We do have team coverage throughout Sevier County from Wears Valley Road to a shelter where people can seek help. We begin tonight with 10 News anchor John Becker. And John, you are at the command center at Valley View Baptist Church. Bring us up to date, if you will.
Rob, we can see an active firefight underway behind us. It takes just minutes for one of those National Guard helicopters that you mentioned to fly over the ridge over my other shoulder, pick up about 600 gallons of water, and fly back to that active fire scene on those ridge tops over my shoulder. It's smoky here, but not like it was yesterday. Firefighters getting the benefit of lower winds. That's allowing those helicopters to join the fight from the National Guard. And we're seeing some big efforts on the ground. And for that, I want to turn to one of my colleagues, 10 News reporter Cole Sullivan, who spent the day looking at what mop-up crews are dealing with after an active firefight last night.
John, we were up on the ridges that were burning last night, engulfed in an inferno overnight, and we saw what was remaining. They were able to save many of the cabins up on these ridges in this area, but you could see burned out areas surrounding there. We have some video of what's going on there now, and they said there were really two parts of this firefight. Yesterday, really a containment effort. They couldn't get that close to it because the winds were just so strong. Today, a different story. They were able to spend more time getting closer to that fire, able to stop it from moving and work on cleaning up some hotspot areas. There are two really distinct forms of firefighting we're seeing, and I asked one about the active firefight.
Currently, dozers and hand crews are still working in the active front of the fire. We still have air operations going as well to help cool down the hot spots so that crews can get in there and they can extinguish the fires or put a good fire line in so that the fire will not move anymore.
And again, that's the active part of the firefight. There's also this part of containment, the mop-up area, making sure that the fire where it has gone out doesn't reignite again. They're working to splice up logs in that area and also make sure that those flames don't reignite as we hear another helicopter going overhead here. Todd, the winds, a big concern on that. And for that, we're going to check in with Todd Howell in the Weather Center.
All right, Cole Sullivan, thank you so much. And Cole, great work last night. I hope you get better sleep tonight because you kept us all very much informed, and great work. That's an example of what we saw last night with a lot of those very high winds. Let's take you right now to our Gatlinburg camera. Here's a current live view. We're seeing some breaks in the clouds. And here's a look at our Pigeon Forge, or rather our Parkway camera in Sevierville, I should say. And looking south toward Pigeon Forge, we do see some of that haze on the horizon, some of the smoke, but not as much as we saw yesterday. Again, skies continue to clear, and we are looking at conditions that it is still breezy. We do have some gusty winds. Matter of fact, current wind gust in Knoxville back up to 40 miles per hour. Now, we are going to see still some breezy winds tonight. Here's a look at, first of all, our futurecast wind gusts. Winds will gradually be diminishing some. Still will be a little bit breezy overnight, and during the day tomorrow, we'll have more of your general breeze, right? 10 to 15 miles per hour. Not as gusty on Friday compared to what we saw still today, and especially what we saw yesterday and last night. So slowly but surely, we're looking at those winds coming down. There's a look at the peak wind gust last night. Again, in Knoxville, we had a 64 mile per hour peak wind gust. And so there's what we're seeing right now. Partly cloudy skies. We actually have a chance for spotty light rain showers overnight with maybe a snow flurry in the mountains and cooler temperatures in the 30s and 40s. So grab the jackets. Sunny and cool weather returns tomorrow for Friday. All right, we send you back to Sevier County for more on the latest on the fires and what's going on there with Vinay Simlot. Vinay?
This is Wares Valley Road. This is now closed about 3 o'clock, a little after 3 o'clock. They opened Wares Valley Road up after closing it for all of yesterday and most of today. They've closed it once again. We saw 4, 5, 6 fire trucks race down this way, and as John Becker said earlier today, they've closed the area around Smoky Ridge Way, and that is a mandatory evacuation right now. That's about 4 miles away from us, and that area was very smoky. I want to show you some video of Darlene Verito. She's a woman who lived through the 2016 Gatlinburg wildfires. She lost everything in that fire, and today she was ready with a go bag with all of her family treasures, a clock and teacups from her grandma, knickknacks from a friend who passed away a few years ago. She told me how difficult it is to go through this again after that trauma of 2016.
It took me right back to my friend's bedroom on the floor crying, knowing that I still hear the winds, everything's burning, praying that, God forbid, nobody's dying and nobody's going through what we went through.
So she's ready for this fire, but even with the mountains and the ash in the distance at the island on Pigeon Forge, it's operating as usual. People are there on the rides enjoying their spring break. The people we spoke to aren't ready to cancel their vacation plans just yet. Now, that island is about 3 miles away from where we are standing right here, right now at Wears Valley Road. And it is so breezy here. You saw it again just happen right now. The road closed sign has fallen over, and there's a lot of smoke, a lot of haze here, but not very much over at the island in Pigeon Forge. Grace, I want to send it to you to talk a little bit more about the firefight.
Well, Vinay, the good news is so far there have been no deaths reported, but there are a few injuries. This morning, Mayor Larry Waters told us 2 firefighters were treated for minor injuries on site. They are expected to be okay. A contractor was more seriously injured and flown to UT Medical Center.
We had one civilian that was flown to UT yesterday. He was working, I believe, on a bulldozer in an area up there, and the fire overcame him.
That contractor is Bradley Sloan Jr., according to his wife, Coda. She says Bradley's been touch and go throughout the day, struggling with pain and swelling. She says he's very thankful to be alive and getting great care, and that at the moment, her family is asking the community to pray for his recovery. Now, with the wind, conditions out here can become very dangerous very quickly. That's why so many people were asked to evacuate yesterday, and some of them have come here to the Pigeon Forge Community Center. Coming up at 5:30, I'll introduce you to some people who've evacuated and spent the night here. Robin.
All right, Grace, thanks so much. We will see you a little later in this newscast. Well, many of you have asked how you can donate to those affected by the Wears Valley wildfire, and we are getting new information tonight from the Mountain Tough organization. They say you can text Smokies to the number you see right there on your screen. You can also text our website or visit our website, WBIR.com, or our app for a full list of donation services. Our coverage does continue on 10 News. In our next half hour, we will show you what firefighters are experiencing on the front lines. And online right now, we have dozens of pictures from people all across Sevier County. And again, a look at the ways that you can help. That's online at WBIR.com.